$100,000 pyramid will not be seen tonight in order to bring you highlights of today's Peachtree Road Race.
By day, it's the 4th of July celebration that is synonymous with the city of Atlanta. By night, it's high stepping of a different sort. But any way you look at it, this is the Peachtree Road Race. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jeff Hullinger.
TV5 Eyewitness Sports presents the 19th running of the Peachtree Road Race.
Happy 4th of July, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Rock Cafe on Roswell Road. I'm Jeff Hullinger, along with a man who knows as much about this race as anybody in our city, a former director of the event in 1979 and 1983, Bob Barsha. And Bob, it was a unique day in the sense that there was a lot of great competition, but also the weather was very, very unique.
Very much a factor, Jeff. I don't think we've had as wet a Peachtree since about 1974. Couldn't have been any wetter if we'd run it underwater. Great day for the little nation of Belgium with a first in the men, second in the women, and a world record in the wheelchair.
I'm trying to remember the last time it was 67 degrees as everybody was getting ready to go. Overcast, almost chilly, but there were a lot of people all set to go, ready to go after that T-shirt.
No question, and the T-shirt is what really matters to all of those 25,000 folks in the Peachtree, Jeff.
All right, it is 8 a.m. and 25,000 plus are ready to go for their shot at the Peachtree Street. It came down to 3 men, really, toward the end, and it really became a great sort of poker match for the most part.
We're used to seeing great battles in the Peachtree, and we sure got one today, Jeff. The start, of course, there's more energy released at this than, I don't know, probably violates all sorts of international treaties. 25,000 people. The weather really a godsend, but it was very humid, about 95% humidity, and that's always going to take its toll. Big group up front, the elite athletes getting out. About a 12-man pack, about 4:30 at the first mile. That's playing it a little bit conservative, so we weren't surprised to see guys like John Tuttle in the red shirt in the middle, and your eventual winner, Jean-Pierre Ndaya-Senga, making his way down Peachtree as well.
There were some concerns, weren't there, about those little markers that were sticking up out of the road, that they were a couple of inches high, and there was a possibility that some of the runners could trip.
There was a lot of concern about that, Jeff, but apparently there were no problems at all. The track club worked very hard to alert the runners to it, and they avoided it. Going up the Piedmont Hill, how many times have we seen the leaders pull away at this point? And we did. Tuttle, Ndaya-Senga, Sam Negasha to the left of your screen there, losing ground to the back, and Mark Kerp out of Kansas City, Missouri. Tuttle began to have problems as well. The guy in the red shirt in the middle dropped back a tad, and as they made their way up that last short series of hills up to 14th Street and Colony Square, Kerp in the red shorts and Ndaya-Senga trailing him. Now notice they're on the left-hand side of the road here. They've got a left turn coming up at 14th Street. Kerp, that tells me, was trying to shake Ndaya-Senga, but it was more important to Ndaya-Senga to stay close to him than to get across and take the shortest route down the road. Into the park, how many times have we seen this? 2 men battling. Reminds me of the 1982 race when John Sinclair out-kicked Michael Musioki of Kenya. Here they are, they've got one more turn to go. Ndaya-Senga knows, I've got the man at this point. He puts on a great kick. Look at the foot motion. See how many more steps he's taking than Kerp behind him. Kerp is a very muscular guy, and he just didn't have it to stay with this great Belgian athlete now living in Boulder, Colorado. And here's the way I called the finish.
And it is J.P. Ndaya-Senga who has pulled the kick. He has pulled the trigger on Mark Kerp, and J.P. Ndaya-Senga, wearing number 7 from Belgium, will win the Peachtree Road Race unofficially 28-15. Behind him comes Mark Kerp. A spectacular finish, not a record, but a great man-to-man battle.
Was there any point that you knew you were going to win this race today?
Oh yeah, after the hills, when we went by the Colony Square Hotel, I knew that I was pretty fast in the, on the flat than Mark was. So I got more confident from then.
I knew in the last half mile, and I was having trouble breaking away from him, that it was going to be difficult to outkick him if it came down to that.
I'm awful happy to have been third, and I don't usually beat those two guys anyways, only once in a while, and so I'm happy.
Is it more fun for you running this race? Now, I ask this question because you're from the area. Larry Nelson enjoys playing the Atlanta Classic and plays well on that golf course. Do you feel like you run well here in front of a lot of home people?
I run well here, but I'll tell you, the first few years it was a lot more fun. Now I'm a little more uptight because I do want to do well, and it's a little bit of pressure, but it brings a good race out of you.
It sure does. We want to check on the women's side of the ledger, and we had the opportunity to see a racer that we didn't get to see last year because of an injury, but she was ready today. Here is Robin Roberts along with race director Julia Emmons. Ladies?
Thank you, Jeff, and as you said, Julia Emmons, the boss of the race, the race director, is here with us. She's also a runner, taking part in her 7th Peachtree today. Had a good run?
I forgot to look.
Good answer, good answer. A strong women's field this year. Greta Weitz is top seed and pretty much had her way later in the race. Also, Teresa Orndorff, who was 2nd last year, was here this year, but she was hampered a little bit.
Yeah, she was. She had a poisoned foot. Ria Van Langerham was also here and gave Greta a really hard time.
Yeah, here we see the beginning of the race and a lot of women. How many women this year?
Approximately 8,000.
Not bad at all. And they were also battling the humidity, though it was a little bit cooler. But as we said, Greta Weitz was trailing at the halfway point, and then she kind of made her move. What was going on there?
Well, Ria and Greta went neck and neck first mile, then Ria took over on the 2nd, and then Greta got her on the hill, and that was it. A typical Greta Weitz race.
Here she is coming into the park. That's when she really started to come into her own. That's the 2nd place finisher right there.
Yeah, that's Ria.
And the 3rd place finisher was pretty much not a factor.
That's Christine McNichol, yeah.
And Greta, once she was toward the end, you could still see that she was struggling a little bit with the humidity.
She was, and she's had a few minor injuries, but she certainly put in a good performance today.
Oh!
Right there?
Yeah. Well, how come? What is that?
That's right where your rhomboid is and your levator tendon.
What is all these words you're telling me?
Oh.
Swinging your arms.
Doing this.
Oh, I felt good, and I'm very, very happy with my performance. And the race, I think, overall went without any problems. And I'm just very happy that I am back into racing again and looking forward to a good season. What's next for you?
I'm going to start running some track races now, and hopefully I want to qualify for the Olympics and the 10,000 for New Zealand. So that's on August the 5th, I'm going to run a 10K on the track.
It's another fine women's division at the Peachtree. Julia, I know you've had a long day, want to enjoy some of the party. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you very much.
And Bill Hartman is also here live at Sports Rock Cafe. Bill, what do you have for us?
Thank you very much, Robin. While you and Jeff have talked about the winners with all those low times and everything, I've got more winners for you, but they don't get a fancy trophy nor part of the $45,000 purse for this race. Their payoff is competing in the race and winning that T-shirt. You know, way back in 1970, there were only 110 people in this race, and now you're seeing some of the 25,000 that run it. The humidity today made it pretty much of a normal Peachtree. Even though it was a little cooler than expected, that high humidity made it an average Peachtree. Guess what? 10 to 15% of the runners you see there are first-time runners here at the Peachtree. Everybody having fun, and I'm talking now live here at the Sports Rock Cafe with a couple of runners. First of all, we're going to play this like American Bandstand. I want you to give me your name, and then how did you rate your performance today?
My name is Karen. I did an okay job.
Meaning what?
68 minutes.
Okay.
Could have done better.
You got the T-shirt, and you?
My name's Ian, and I ran in 47 minutes.
Is it drudgery? Was it a lot of fun?
Oh, it was a party. Good time.
And that's what the Peachtree Road Race is supposed to be. We'll be back with more on the great race right after this.
Sports Rock Cafe on a cool 4th of July night. We are inside having a good time here at one of the hippest places in town. Bob, let's talk a little bit about volunteers and what they mean to this race. It is so much a part of it.
Well, there's no question that the race couldn't happen without them, Jeff. They're about 2,500 strong. They come from all over the city of Atlanta. That's 1 for every 10 runners. In fact, it's bigger than just about any other race in the state of Georgia, except maybe the TV5 Heart Trek in March. The race simply couldn't happen without them, and I think the runners owe them a great debt of gratitude.
And there's so much that they're involved in so many aspects of this race, from cleaning up Piedmont trying to help get some of the runners into town.
A lot of thankless jobs. If you thought the weather was bad this morning, you should have been out there last night when they had to set up, start, finish, and everything in between, then go back out and clean it all up after the race was over.
Bob Varsha, we appreciate it. Thanks for coming by. Congratulations on helping us tonight. We really appreciate it. You know, the other thing that everybody's always talking about, and as you look around here, you see so many people in green T-shirts. You see more of these green T-shirts throughout Atlanta. Everybody is proud of it. That green, it is the ultimate symbol of completion. You have made it. Later in the day, the awards were handed out to some of the top finishers, and in all, a very successful day in the park. It went so smoothly. There weren't any problems. Everybody knew exactly what they wanted to do. They were there to have fun, and they were there to honor those extraordinary athletes who were able to run this course in such record time. Now, what we want to do is we want to toss it around to some of my colleagues to get a feel, some of their thoughts, final thoughts on this, the 19th running of the Peachtree Road Race. We begin with Robin Roberts. We'll wrap it up with Bill Hartman.
Hey, Jeff, I've been to a lot of races. This was my first Peachtree. Hey, it's just like everybody said it is. I am running next year. I'm putting it on record. I wanted one of those T-shirts. How about you, Bill?
Well, my excuse for about 14 years now has been that I've got to cover the race, and that's why I'm not running the race. Maybe next year I'll go with you, but I'll tell you, this was one of the best. They get better every year, and this certainly has to rank among one of the best of the 19 Peachtree Road races. Jeff?
All right, Bill, Robin, thank you very much. Let's update you again as to our winners today. And I want to say that everybody who ran today, everybody who took part is, of course, a winner. But these are the big guns. In the men's open, you see him right there. JP at 28.17. Mark Kerp, John Tuttle, Sam Negasha, and Mark Conover. The women's, Greta Weitz, there she is again, 32.09. Rhea Van Langingham. Then it's Christine McMichael, Teresa Ornduff, and Barbara Moore. Some of the other winners today, men's masters, Larry Olson, Bob Shaw, and Barry Brown. And in the women's masters, Barbara Galuzzi and Christine Tattersall. Jane Millspaugh is third. So that's going to about do it. This July 4th from the Sports Rock Cafe. Our special thanks to Bob Varsha, Julia Emmons, Robin Roberts, Bill Hartman, and everybody here who came by to have fun at the Sports Rock Cafe. As we leave you, here's some sights and scenes from the 19th running of the Peachtree Road Race. Good night, everybody.
This Eyewitness Sports Special has been brought to you by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, CNS Banks, Burger King, Atlanta Acura Dealers, and Bridgestone Tires.